things to decorate their own homes and to decorate the entire city altogether. I was reminded of some more descriptions in our scriptures before going into the details of this one. Like when Lord Ram returned to Ayodhya after so many years, 14 years, the Ayodhya Vasis decorated the whole town with similar things. They express their love, their joy by decorating the city with all kinds of auspicious signs and especially a lot of lamps. And we till date we celebrate Diwali or Deepavali to commemorate the return back of Lord Ram to Ayodhya by lighting so many lamps. So in here, uh, in this particular verse which we are reading, there are descriptions about the usage of uh, plantain trees, mango leaves, and then in the purport, Srila Prabhupada also mentions more uh, fruits and flowers, coconut palms. They are still accepted as auspicious signs, and those are the things that were being used to welcome the Lord. So, in another purport, I read that there are some trees which are considered auspicious and some are considered non-auspicious. And the distinction which was shared there was the auspicious ones are the ones that bear fruit and flowers which can be offered to the Lord. Whereas so these mango, coconut, they all come into that category which provide seasonal fruits. And the non-auspicious ones are the ones which can just be used for as a fuel, nothing more than that. So we do have this distinction of auspicious and non-auspicious, even for animals. So, for example, cow is considered auspicious. She's in fact our mother. And if you're going somewhere, you see a cow, it's a sign of auspiciousness versus if say if you see a donkey or even there is one chapter in Bhagavatam where when Lord Krishna departs, Yudhishthir Maharaj starts hearing all kinds of bad omens and inauspicious signs, jackals, the howling of jackals, and things like that. So there is a way, some signs are auspicious and some signs are inauspicious. And when you're welcoming the Lord, you're so happy, you're putting up all kinds of auspicious signs everywhere. Um, so, yeah, I'm just looking at my notes about this. Uh, oh yeah. So one thought is that when they used all the decorations, the Dwarka Vasis, they used natural products to decorate the city. Of course, I don't think they had plastic at that time, but the the consciousness was to use uh, the gifts of nature in service of the Lord. So Lord has given us all these things, and you use the best things that you have received back in the service of the Lord. And uh, so even now, and the Dwarka was considered a city. Even there was a distinction. Dwarka was a city versus say Vrindavan was a village. Um, so it was more developed, so to say, um, architecturally and in other ways. It had Raj Marg, like highways and things like that, compared to a village. So they were living a pretty sophisticated life in terms of the city dwelling, but the decorations were all used uh, similar to taken from Mother Nature. Fresh flowers, fruits, trees, things like that. So in our current, I remember in our temple many years ago, we were using some non-natural decorations for the temple, and there was one point many years ago, I think more than 10 years ago, we removed all those things and decided that we'll only use fresh flower garlands for the Lord and use fresh flower things to decorate on festival days instead of having those artificial um, they were not plastic, but at least they were not fresh flowers. So even though it costs way more money. But the we devotees should offer the best that we have to the Lord. And so we make these fresh flower garlands every now and then, and especially on festivals, so many, and beautifully decorate the Lord. So that's the consciousness that we need to learn from our scriptures, from these Dwarkavasis, how much love and affection, and they decorated their whole city. And in the similar mood, we also try to imbibe that and show it by decorating in our temples. Decorate the Lord with the best products that you can, best natural things that you can afford. So receiving the Lord uh, and using auspicious and beautiful things uh, to decorate is one of the lessons that I got from this purport. Uh, oh yeah, another thing. So not only the decorative signs like the trees and the leaves, all kinds. When you have the products, but somebody who has an artistic nature can actually use those leaves and create a beautiful offering. Just having the leaves and the fruits is not enough. Somebody has to make a rangoli out of that, make a toran out of that. So uh, these are artistic things. And also there were people dancing and playing music to welcome the Lord. It's not in this verse, but in the future verses it's gonna come up. So the basic point is that you express your love through some art form and use it in the service of the Lord. So that's the best usage of your artistic talents that you have. Currently, in our society, we see a lot of degradation. I mean, people do have this artistic talents, these skills, but they don't know that where to put, how to use those things. You see, people singing all kinds of lewd songs. Bollywood songs are one of the examples. The dances, they are so much full of sensuality. They are not glorifying the Lord, not using all their skills, the songs and the dance and the art, the decoration that they do. uh, it is totally away. In fact, sometimes they are even trying to be like demons, using all those things to bring down the position of the Lord through media. Although the art is supposed to be used in the service of the Lord to glorify the Lord. I recently attended my niece's Arangetram, Bharatnatyam Arangetram. So she and one another 15-year-old girl, they spent countless hours for the Arangetram, but actually throughout their life, like from last, I don't know, 7 8 years of hard practice. And they were all the songs that they performed on were devotional songs. So Bharatnatyam by nature, it was that art form was created to glorify the Lord. And thankfully it that art is being preserved, and there are nice teachers. In fact, where my niece stays in North Carolina, we have a great devotee who is a Bharatnatyam teacher. They are they are very blessed to have Champaklata Mataji, who is a Bharatnatyam teacher and has been performing. She has been teaching the kids not only for this Arangetram, but every festival they have a nice dance drama. I mean, it's a feast for the eyes to see that with so much devotion. They have been doing dance dramas for hours, not just like a 5 minute thing, but 1 hour long dance drama. So the devotees, the girls who are learning that, from their childhood, they have been using this dance form to glorify the Lord. And that's how we should be doing. I was there in that Arangetram, and it was so touching that I was sometimes getting goosebumps and feeling those tears in my eyes. It that the create when the art is done with pure devotion, it can actually touch your heart and make you feel that, yeah, there is something divine here happening. It isn't just you will never get that feeling if you're watching. say Bollywood or some, even regular dances, whereas compared to somebody who's meditating on the Lord and then performing that art. You can experience that. I mean, I experienced it in the Bharatanatyam dance, but wherever the Lord is being glorified, that art form really touches your heart. I still remember in one of the Janmashtamis, we had created, some Matajis, again, Bhaktiras Matajis coming to my mind, but it was a teamwork. They created two peacocks. Through some of the devotees might remember, big, huge peacocks were created and they were put on the altar. And one of the peacock was like bending like this and looking at the Lord. That just that that meditation that they had done and molded the thing to see the Lord in such a beautiful pose. It was touching the hearts of so many people. I still remember it is such a vivid memory for me. So art has that potency to touch your heart forever, and if you're doing it with the full devotion, it becomes just unimaginably beautiful. So yeah, use all your artistic talents in the service of the Lord, like Dwarkavasis were doing here and showing us by example. Okay. Then the second, so first one was how to receive the Lord and how to use the gifts of nature and the gifts that Lord Krishna has given you, the artistic talents, in the service of the Lord. And then the other main point of this verse is about how the flags were having the paintings of devotees, not of the Lord, but of devotees of Garuda or Hanuman on the flags. So I want to elaborate a little bit more on that point. Uh, so, um, yeah, so the Lord is more pleased when people glorify his devotees compared to people glorifying himself. So, Lord is, there are so many examples in our scriptures, but one of the most common ones is where Ambarish Maharaj and story where Lord Narayan says that I am Paradhin, I am Bhakt Paradhin. I am under the control of my devotees and I am not Swatantra, I am not free when Durvasa Muni comes to him to be protected from the Sudarshan Chakra. So the Lord clearly says that he is under the control of his devotees. And through many other examples, Lord shows how he is happy to glorify his own devotee, and that's what he loves the most. I'm just looking at my notes. Yeah. Okay. One example which was coming, which I listened to that. I was listening to some classes on this verse spoken by some other nice devotees, and one devotee made a very nice point about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or maybe before that. Oh no, yeah. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he would go to see Lord Jagannath in the Puri temple, he would stand next to the Garuda Stambha. And why? He wouldn't stand in the front of the row to where Lord Jagannath would be, but he would stand in the back where Garuda Stambha was there. And the thing was because when Lord Jagannath gives his darshan, Lord Jagannath would be looking for his dearmost devotee, who is Garuda ji. And so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Lord Jagannath would be looking for Garuda, and I'm standing next to Garuda, so Lord will look at me. Not that if I stand in the front of the row, the premier row, the Lord would look at that person. No, Lord is looking for his devotee, Garudji. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would always stand next to the Garud Stamba, that the next, after Garudji, the Lord will have a look at me. So that's a mood. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. He understands everything, and he knows that the Lord would be looking for his devotee. So Garuda Stamba is the place to be. And serving the devotees is a surer way to become dear to the Lord. So I wanted to do a very maybe small exercise. What are the other devotees? Uh, which other devotees do we see in the temple? Um, or which other devotees? Yeah, which like two there could be two ways. You can answer any one if that's okay. Like which devotees do we see in the temple before we even see the Lord? Or together with the Lord. Who are the other devotees who we might see in the temple who are serving the Lord? Uh, so would
Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada, of course, yes. Without we, in fact, if whatever offering we do, we offer it through our Guru and Srila Prabhupada. So yeah, Srila Prabhupada. Any other examples of devotees who we see or while serving the Lord or even before seeing the Lord?
Srimati Vrinda Devi.
Yes, Tulsi Maharani, Srimati Runda Devi. In fact, when we offer bhoga, we always have Tulsi leaf. Along with that, we offer to the Lord. And you can even think of
On
other temples, not just our temple. Our temple is a little small, but think of some big temples. And which are the other devotees you might see? Yes,
Rath Yatra, we see Jayanand Thakur.
yes, yeah,
Gurudaji, like you said.
yes, Garuji. So in some of the temples back in India and even here in some of the big temples, there are Jai Vijay outside the temple. Like when you go, you first see Jai Vijay and you see Garudji and Hanumanji in many temples before you go to see the Lord. And some other in Jagannath Puri there is Sudarshan Chakra who is glorified before the Lord. And one very important personality, uh, Mother Cow. So Mother Cow and Ganga Maya. So these are devotee personalities who we take shelter of to serve the Lord, and the Lord is very very pleased when we glorify or when we offer our love, our service through these devotees to the Lord. Um, so, are there examples where I have written down a couple of examples where devotees took shelter of another devotee to approach the Lord? Would anybody like to also maybe think examples from our scriptures where someone took shelter of a devotee to approach the Lord?
Indra took shelter of Surabhimati,
Yeah.
the Govardhan pasture.
Yes, Prabhuji. Perfect. Yeah, that was in my list too, where Lord Indra, yeah, he had offended the Lord, but then when he took shelter of Mother Surabhi, the transcendental cow, then the Lord was pleased. Any other example? It doesn't have to be when you have offended, but in general, if somebody took shelter of a great devotee and then approached the Lord through them.
Dhruv Maharaj took shelter of Narad Muni and
Yes.
then
And what?
and then approached the Lord. He was able
Yeah.
to get darshan of Lord Vishnu.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
King Prataprudra to approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I think approached Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, if I remember. I don't remember it correctly, but something like that I remember.
Yeah, even I don't remember who he took shelter of. Any other devotees, if they remember, they can. But yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. He was rejected by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so many times because he was a king, but there was some devotee who gave his kripa. Thank you. Okay, one more example in my list was about how when Lord Narsinghadev was very angry and nobody was able to uh, pacify him after he had killed Hiranyakashipu, and then Lord Brahma sent Prahlad Maharaj to pacify the Lord, and then uh, his anger was pacified. So, taking shelter of devotees uh, is the key to make spiritual progress. The Lord, it's harder for devotees, or not harder, but we cannot do justice if we glorify the Lord, because the Lord has infinite qualities. Ananta Shesh has been trying to glorify the Lord since time immemorial, and he has still not completed enough glorification of the Lord. So the Lord, when Ananta Shesh with millions of hoods, and each hood from each mouth he is speaking the glories, he has not been able to complete. We can, we are such minuscule jivas, we can never do justice. I mean, we can try, we can spend our whole life, but we cannot do justice. We can never glorify the Lord completely or to the best possible extent. But what we have in according to Jiva Goswami, he has given the instruction that simple ways you glorify the devotee. And that is a sure short way to please the Lord. Way more than if you're trying to please the Lord by glorifying him, try to please his devotee, and you have a better chance, more sure shot chance to please the Lord. So that is one learning that we can, apply in our life, that uh, serve a devotee, glorify a devotee, uh, become dasanudas, become the servant of the Lord, and that will make us dearer to Lord Krishna, which is the aim of our life. Trying to see if there is any other thing that I noted down. I think I have covered all my notes. Is there anything else any devotee would like to share? I mean, there are very nice points here: how to decorate the temple, how to receive the Lord with warmth, and how the Lord is more pleased when his devotees are glorified. There was one more thing. I mean, I was looking at the scriptures, like there were examples how, apart from Ayodhya example that we shared, when Dhruva Maharaj was returning back from the forest after doing his tapasya, when the word reached his father, who was now in a very repentful mood, he also decorated the city, and there are very nice descriptions in Bhagavatam about what are the kind of things they used to decorate. And some of those are obviously same as here. They use plantain leaves, mango leaves, garlands, signs. They used diya, the ghee lamps, betel nuts, and seeds, and all those things. So Bhagavatam gives us examples in multiple places where how to decorate, how to use the gifts of nature back in the service of the Lord. When you are, so Dhruva is a devotee, but again, uh, glorifying a devotee, decorating the house to greet a devotee, those will please the Lord more. So the residents of the city where Dhruva was coming back, they were also jubilant, and they were decorating the whole city to receive a devotee of the Lord. And so Lord Krishna also showed us how to receive a devotee in your house. When Narad Muni came to his house, he Or when Sudama Brahman came to his house, Lord Krishna, personally bathed their feet by his own hands. I mean, imagine the Supreme Lord is bowing down and washing the feet of a devotee. So Lord Krishna, by his example, he showed us how to greet a devotee in your life. If some great personality is coming to your house, what should be your mood, your attitude, and the ways in which you can express how grateful you are for their presence in your house. um, so with a heart full of gratitude and all these